You ever feel like you just don't really have any special talents or unique gifts, or there's so many other people around you that are better at certain things and you're like, what am I even that good at? I've been there. I think so many young people have been there where they're just like, what do I really have to contribute to the world? And here's the thing, that doubt of I don't have any gifts, I don't have any talents, I'm not unique is totally wrong. You do have special talents. You do have unique gifts. You do have special resources that nobody else has. The problem is that you don't have them. The problem is that you've never been taught how to see them. So in this video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna help you to uncover and unlock your unique superpowers and learn how to unleash them for the good of the world. This is step 3 in our 5-step framework that has worked for kids all over the world that have used their gifts and their talents to help other kids break out of poverty. And we've already asked these couple of questions. How do you see? Who's your team? And in this next video, I want you to ask this question. What do I have? Because here's the thing, you're walking around with a backpack full of superpowers, and we want to help you reach in and discover what you have. You know, at JamQuest, our logo is a backpack because we believe that every person has a backpack that is filled with stuff that makes you, you. Your strengths, your passions, your resources, your talents, your interests, all things that could be used to literally change someone else's life if you just knew how to use them. Think about every great hero story that you love. Harry Potter had his wand. Iron Man had his suit. Frodo had Sting. In the Chronicles of Narnia, they're all given unique gifts that they all use at different points in the story. Every hero is given a unique gift, a unique weapon that they use to slay dragons on their quest. We want to help you slay some dragons, but you got to find out what your weapons are. And you already have them inside of you, but the way to unlock them is having that good eye that we talked about in our first class together. So here's how to find your unique superpowers. We believe your purpose, your superpower, comes at the intersection of 4 things. Your purpose equals your gifts, your passions, plus your resources, plus what serves others. And so let's break those down. Your gifts. Gifts are your natural abilities, both the character strengths that energize you and the skills that come easy to you. Maybe you're naturally good at organizing people, public speaking, thinking through logistics, knowing where everybody needs to be at all times, helping other people feel included, solving problems. Or maybe you're good at singing or making people laugh or a certain sport. Your gifts are often a combination of your strengths and your talents. And here's what's wild. A lot of these gifts have probably been inside of you since you were really young. Think about it. What were you doing at 8 years old that people said that you were good at? You know, for me, communicating has always been a strength of mine. I remember being in 4th grade and being in speech contests, or when I was in preschool, people called me the governor because I would take some other classmates around and introduce them to other people. It wasn't necessarily something I actively had to work on. It was something that came naturally to me. And so what is it for you? If you were to ask people in your life what you're good at, what would they say? And we actually have a resource, if you go on our website, that is a JamQuest gifts test or a strengths test that you can take, and it will show you some of the different gifts and strengths that you might already naturally have. So go check our website out to find and download that resource. All right, your passions. Your passions are the things that make you come alive. They're what you could do for hours without getting bored. Or if you had a whole Saturday to yourself, it's what you could spend all day doing. Your passions are maybe problems in the world that you just feel a natural connection to. When something lights your heart on fire, you got to take notice of that. You got to pay attention to that because that could be a unique opportunity to change the world. You know, for me, when I was in middle school and high school, it was simple. My passion was basketball. I could spend all day doing that. It was basketball, but it was also when I started learning about some kids in Kenya and what they had to go through, my heart just felt drawn and called to do something about that. And that's where a basketball tournament for kids in Kenya was formed. So what are your passions? Number 3, your resources. This is where people get it wrong. Sometimes people think of resources and all they think of is money, but resources are anything that you already have access to that could benefit somebody else. Your time, your social media platform, your school, your community. When I was a kid, it was like, all right, I got like $70. I got a gym. I got a basketball. I got a middle school. These are some of the resources that I had. I had parents that were willing to help. I had a school project that motivated me to work on this. I had a Boys and Girls Club right next to my house. These were all different resources that I tried to figure out, how can I use these to benefit others? Who do you know that could help you or support you? What do you have already that you could use to go make a difference? What do you already have at your disposal? Not something you have to go buy necessarily. What do you already have that you could leverage and you could use for the benefit of serving others? I guarantee you that list is way longer than you think it is. Now we looked at your gifts, your passions, and your resources. All those things are about you. Now, one of the things that we hear all the time, especially in modern day and when you're young, comes from Disney movies, comes from all the different, comes from a lot of different angles, is this idea of do you, be you, do what you want to do, be who you want to be, go after your dreams. And there's so much good, to those messages, but I think it actually is missing a key ingredient. Because if everything is about you and your dreams and your gifts and your passions to benefit you, to do what you want, then you actually end up feeling really empty after a while. And often you don't really make much of an impact because it was all about you. That's why your purpose isn't about you just doing the things that you like to do for you, but it's all wrapped in that last ingredient, serving others. One of our slogans here at JamQuest is do you for others, because we believe that it's not enough to say just do you. Do you for the benefit of others. That's when you really make a difference, when you really change the world, and when I believe that you find your purpose. And look, I get it. Maybe you're thinking, Nick, I'm just a teenager. I can't do a whole lot. Even some of the talents and gifts that I have are so small. What can I really do with those? Let me tell you something. I have seen so many people just like you use the things that they thought were small, but they used it with great belief. And with that belief, they were able to make a huge difference and a huge impact. And I'm gonna get more into those stories in our next video, but what I want you to know right now is that if you just believe that you can use what you have, you can do something amazing. Because it's a truth that what you focus on grows. If you focus on all the negatives, the things that you don't have, that's what you're gonna see all the time. But if you start to look at your gifts and your passions and your resources, and you think about how can I use these? What difference can I make with these? If you focus on all the good that you can do with those, that's what ends up happening. That's what ends up growing in your life. And we're gonna talk way more in our next video about how to use all of your superpowers to make a difference, but this was all about discovering it. And so what I want you to do is I want you to go sit down with your team, and I want you to discuss what you think your superpowers are, what your purpose is, what you think your talents are, what you think your gifts are, some different resources that you have, your passions. And like I said earlier, on our website, you can find some different resources to help you with this. We have a sheet in the workbook that has some different questions to help guide you through some of those. We also have our JamQuest strengths test that you can find to put you into one of 4 categories that would be super fun to do with your team. And also a team meeting guide to facilitate that discussion together. So go check those out. If you're already in our JamQuest program, then I've already mentioned some of those things. But here's something that I know about you. You have something special. You have gifts that the world needs. You have passions that could fuel real change. And you have resources that could transform someone else's life. The question isn't whether you have what it takes, you do. The question is, are you gonna open up your backpack and see what's inside and be willing to take them out and use them on a quest for others? And like I said, in our next video, we're gonna talk about how to turn everything in your backpack into an actual plan that creates that change. But first, you've got to know what you're working with. So grab your team together, have a great discussion talking about some of those, and we'll see you in our next video. And when you're done with your team, drop a comment on here and tell us what some of your strengths are. Tell us how that goes with your team. Or if you have any other questions about how to find your superpower, drop those in the comments. We'd love to answer some of those questions for you. But thanks for being on this journey with us, and we'll see you in our next video.